Ha! Here you are, my silent king.
If you'd like to learn how to make 40k armies or to see how professional studio handle their projects, here we are going to teach you how to make awesome looking armies and explain in details how we handle all of the projects. I spent thousands of hours crafting hundreds of armies, so you don't have to. And I would like to share with you what I learned along the way. This is Maybach Game Studio. I am Chris and welcome to Crafting Armies series. How project starts. David prepared loose set of images and notes, inspiration, guidelines about how he would like to execute his project. And this step is very important. This is basically a mood board. You gathered images, inspiration, notes, reference, everything that you like. And in this step, it's not important to reduce the amount of information. Just take everything you like, put it in the folder, write your notes, write your wishes, and keep it. There will be next step where it will be important to reduce the amount of information, but at this step, just take everything you have and put it in the folder. In the comments below the video, you asked us if we do the mood board for every project, and the answer is no, but in most cases we do. Mood boards are important to visualize the concept before it is executed. It is also the tool that allows you to communicate better with customers in our case, or with yourself in your case, as usually you have a ton of ideas, or you may be uncertain if you want this or this, and it just makes the process, I think, more fun to do. There are also some rare cases where the customer himself prepare the mood board, and actually this is the reason why we started doing mood boards, because one of customer sent the mood boards and we thought it's just cool idea to process in our workflow. And if you would like a specific video on how to create mood boards, we can do it for you. In this section, I will describe how to translate complex mood board into more precise concept of how we should prepare the prototype, so the first model which will define the rest of the army. In David's case, he has very strong awareness of his color preferences, of painting style. He communicates well how we should do stuff, but on the other hand, he leaves a lot of room to creative interpretation. I try to find unifying factor of what makes multiple images, multiple concepts, something similar in them. So I try to reject most different concept that differs a lot from average, what I put in this basket called mood board. And in case of this commission, I picked one painted model from El Miniaturista. I also found very cool GW official artwork, which I found on Pinterest. And the third image was a Nightbringer painted by GW, I mean the newest model. So from time to time, even they could paint their miniatures quite well, at least for my taste. Why I picked those three images and I rejected remaining ones. First one, the image from El Miniaturista, shows how you can basically blend the model with strong, important light source, and David requested that we should put a lot of effort into designing weapons and object light source. Also, he used black color, or black, or in this case it is dark gray armor, and we also wanted to make our main armor to look dark, or dark gray or black. So this is the point that we picked as this important factor. And those two images, I mean the concept art and GW Nightbringer image, helped us to create intrinsic cyberpunk vibe atmosphere with dark universe around, with strong object light source, and in this case I also picked a secondary object light source. From my experience, what looks great on a single hero model frequently doesn't translate too well for whole army concept. They have different surfaces, different designs, and in this case I also feel that the army could look boring because the color palette is very limited. Nice for single miniatures, not so good for a big army. So these reference images help me to create secondary hues, extra colors, while still maintaining this dark, grim, cyberpunk vibe. So dark violet, blue object light source, object light source, and well-designed weapons in terms of painting. They are very important factors to David. David places a strong emphasis on detailed work. Third, the Silent King and Ctans have to be in even higher quality. And lastly, from my side, based on the project management, the communication flow between Nicola, who do Airbrush, and Basia, she's leading the project and she's doing oil paints. This communication between her have to be very smooth because it will translate for the both quality and efficiency of the project. And I basically asked Basia to go to Nicola's Airbrush room and to sit with her for better communication.
Projektując tą armię, chciałam się lekko zabawić i potraktować ją nieco inaczej, a mam na myśli to, że nie chciałam jej blendować, nie chciałam blendować kolorów w nieskończoność i chciałam jak najwięcej poszukać jakichś sztuczek, atrakcyjnych sposobów, które sprawią, że ta armia będzie niepowtarzalna. Na samym początku zależało mi, żeby zmaksymalizować współpracę z Nicolą na areografię. Im lepszy powstanie areograf, tym po prostu ja mogłabym mieć mniej pracy. Troszeczkę chciałam, żeby to ona odwaliła większą robotę, a ja miałam ochotę pododawać smaczki do modeli. Dzięki temu mogłam nie malować niektórych elementów, po prostu te, które są gdzieś w zakamarkach, czy gdzieś z tyłu mało widoczne, po prostu szybki wash i gotowe. Wygląda to tak, że poświata nachodzi na wszystko wokół, przez co elementy, które się tam znajdują, niech to będzie jakaś kabura, która powinna być brązowa, nagle wcale nie jest, bo jest zielona, bo ma element światła i nie trzeba jej malować. Czarny pancerz ma podwójną zaletę. Po pierwsze, dobrze się w nim wygląda, a tak naprawdę niewiele mnie to kosztowało czasu pracy, a dało bardzo fajny efekt. Być może technika... Machasz mi tam ręką, się patrzę. Być może ta technika nie jest najszybsza, chociaż całkiem sprawnie można ją wykonać, jednak daje dużo ciekawszy efekt niż zwyczajne blendowanie, więc myślę, że tu jest jej wartość. No i mam na myśli, roboczo nazywamy to kreseczkowaniem. Myślę, że domyślacie się, skąd ta nazwa. Ale dobra. Ja tak opowiadam o tym oszczędzaniu czasu na malowanie, ale po co mi to było? A właśnie po to, żeby przełożyć energię, którą mogłam wykorzystać na zastosowane 2 techniki, mogłam to użyć na 5. Mogłam się pobawić różnymi efektami, które były szybsze, ale dały bardzo fajne efekty, tak myślę.
You take the blue pill, the story ends, you wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want to believe. You take the red pill, you stay in Wonderland, and I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes.
It was stage 1, create a mood board, then to translate the mood board into concept. Then you pick concept and create a prototype based on the concept. And it should be it, but as you know, there are always obstacles on your way. In this case, it was Ctans and the peculiar request of David to make Ctans with chrome effect. In most cases, I avoid interfering with customer's request, but this case was different. It was kind of cool opportunity to finally do chrome effect, as my team or a studio haven't done chrome effect before. I mean horizontal, non-metal metallic. However, in this case, I didn't like this idea. The Necrons, as we created as a concept or based on this mood board and other stuff, it was cyberpunk style. It has heavy, night-oriented environment with strong object light source, and as chrome reflects light, it would make this scenery a little bit odd. I mean that chrome looks best when you have blue sky, brown or green horizon or grass or ground, yeah, and it doesn't look so good in case of night environment or city night environment. And as a second factor, chrome effect wouldn't make the models to pop out from a distance. I mean that in close and personal shots, so if you had a model in your hands and you would try to notice the details, chrome would look absolutely amazing. But from a far distance, there was a risk that they wouldn't be easily noticeable. And we actually before applied blue as the secondary object light source to make some of the unit or some of the details pop out. So picking blue as your main color to be applied fully on the model, it was a cool way to put attention to your centerpiece models while not adding extra colors to your palette. And also the blue makes a lot of sense. It is universally connected to energy, lightsabers or power weapon in 40k, in Halo, whichever universe you pick, blue is commonly associated with energy. And Ctans are star-eating gods, the beings made out fully from energy. If you'd like a tutorial how to make blue color scheme and the small little veins, let us know in the comment. As a final note, within a cohesive color scheme, it's worth making bold choices. You can take small little details to make some units stand out from the rest. For example, flayed ones are lacking object light source, and it was
Wake the fuck up, samurai. We have a city to burn.
Conscious choice. We did it on purpose. Also, this yellow with green hue is used exclusively for characters to make them stand out. And for example, look at this reanimator. We didn't use orange color a lot or at all perhaps, and he has this nice orange eye. And these small details makes your army look more interesting. But you put some extra effort into taking these bold choices, and you can make these models that are still looking cohesive, but have some details that makes them special. Section 4, it's almost the last one. It is about basing. Basing is obviously very important because when you compare the percentage of the model that is provided by your base, it's quite a lot. The basis basically acts as a background for your models. So picking the right background, both in terms of structure and the color, it is important part of your army making decision. If I had to point out the rule of thumb, the most safe decision is to make your bases rather neutral in terms of colors, and also they should be contrast to your models. So if you have black models, it's nice to have light bases. If you have warm models, you can go for cold bases, etc. This is the rule of thumb. As an example, I will refer to creator that I really like, MP Miniatures. He achieves very cool army design while keeping his painting rather simple. So in case of his army, I think that I like them so much because he picks right colors, he makes cool conversion, not because the painting itself is great. And it's good. It's good to achieve great results without putting highest possible skills. That's why this is the example of great design that I provide to you. So you can see these bases for Adeptus Mechanicus. They are very simple, but act as a cool background for his models. And in terms of DevGuard, his choice was the bold choice because bases are green, and it also have this nice connection between base and models. So in case of DevGuard, when he paints his armor white, he still uses greenish hue on the model, and you have this natural appearance that the model matches the environment. And also in case of Mechanicus, it's the same effect. For this project, I decided to sculpt a little bit exotic slabs that could be associated with Necrons because of these spheres and orbs. And we have a lot of issue with those bases because at first we tried to make it cyberpunk with very intensive colors, and as this magenta one was just too crazy, it made Necrons too cartoony. I mean that they could go, but we could go, or you could go with your Necrons to be much more cartoony, but we wanted to make them somewhat grimmer, like we call this style Grimtoon, so matching the cartoony vibrancy of colors and a lot of bold choices with grim dark vibe. It's at first glance it doesn't match too well, but in the end I decided choosing a neutral color to be more 40k vibe, provides grim dark atmosphere, and also this is this way of design where if you would like, to show light, it's best to put darkness in your background. So keeping bases very dark, dark gray, black color makes much more sense instead of this modern design when you just attack everyone with every possible color and attack and attack and attack until they drop dead. So this was the reason why. We also recorded the process of assembling and painting bases. I was there. And if you would like to watch how we did it, you can do it here. This army is lacking conversion, but in case of Necrons, I don't have this urgent need to fix after GW to make the army custom. People who sculpted this army, who prepared concepts, I think that they did a fantastic job. Anyway, David asked us to do 2 special custom models in this army. He wanted his Tesseract Vault to be transportable and to make Doomsday Ark magnetized for the second variant. The problem with Tesseract Vault was solved by scanning the part in the middle. I scanned the core and then split it into 4 parts, put magnet slot, very big magnet slot for strong magnets, added extra one for the ctans in the middle, so there are 5 pieces in total that allows you to transport it. It's very solid. Just 1 more minute. And second one was funny story. I found nice small little piece, digital halberd, took from Proxy, from Overlord. I upscaled it 500%, and I took this halberd as a ramp that I attached warriors next to it, and didn't change design at all, just to make the cannon to be reattachable, and guys on the ramp to attach in the same spot. This is simple, elegant, it works. I don't know why people are doing this ribbons that they are turning direction or changing it. It doesn't make sense at all. Just keep it in the one place. It's solid, it fits, it's fine. And also, because there are these chunky ribbons, you can hide warriors inside, so you can spend less time painting them. And this is also this. It's not worth to put effort on things that are not easily visible, right? You invest your time to stuff that is most important one, centerpiece model, or the details on characters, or even pantry. If you want the model that won't be used frequently, it's just additional option. I just put it hidden.
Therefore, Goethe says, we cannot talk about light without talking about darkness too.